You're welcome to Facebook Hangout. My name is Terver Akase. I'm the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Benue State. And I'm happy to have you on tonight's show. We'll be talking about a variety of issues, especially as they affect Benue State. You know that it's been almost 4 years that your Governor Samuel Otom has been in the saddle, and he has left no one in doubt regarding his commitment to service, selfless service. And in the past 3.5 years, he has done just that, in spite of the numerous challenges that he has come to face. And so tonight, your questions are welcome, your contributions. We'll be looking at issues relating to the coming elections, how Benue is going to vote, and so on and so forth. And I want to say that the governor of Benue State is ready. Benue people are ready. And if you are ready, why not? We'll have to get this thing done, because Benue is the place to be. Benue is the food basket of this country. And if Benue gets it right, of course, you can rest assured that Nigeria will get it right. So I am here with my friend, Reverend Dave Ogole, and both of us will be looking at Benue's development, especially as the elections are coming. So Dave, you're welcome to this show.
Thank you very much. It's an honor to be on Facebook Live, and I understand this is the pioneer edition of this very, very great, program. And then we are using this medium to be able to reach to a technologically advantaged population of Benue people and lovers of Benue worldwide. Like my boss has said earlier, we are going to be talking basically about the forthcoming election and why we needed to make your choices right by voting or re-electing Governor Samuel Otom for the next 4 years as the executive governor of Benue State. We are mindful of the fact that this coming election, the build-up to it has been very, very tense, like you can observe.
Absolutely.
Issues bordering on ethnic, sectional, political grounds, have been raised as far as this election is concerned. And I want to conclude that this is one of the hottest elections as far as Nigeria's democratic history is concerned. For Benue State, it holds a lot for us. While at the national level, a lot of desperation is expressed because, for some people, it is an end of an era. The moment they lose this opportunity, the hand of the clock can never turn again for them to actually have such an opportunity to rule or to govern Nigeria, again. But before we go to the larger scale, they say all politics are local. Right. So we'll be talking about, the Benue phenomenon. I want to agree with you perfectly that Benue stands at a very, very vantage point to set a precedence for either the northern part of Nigeria or the southern part of Nigeria because of the centrality, of Benue State as far as Nigeria's geography is concerned. They say we are the middle belt, and of course the belt is always at the middle, of the person's body, and it controls his dress sense. Like I maintain, if you want to see the nakedness of a person, you lose his belt, and then his dress sense will fall off, and you can see his nakedness. If there is a belt around Nigeria, I think Benue is the buckle point of that belt. And if you want to see the nakedness or the shame of Nigeria, just lose Benue State out of the equation, and then you will see, the nakedness of Nigeria. I want to begin by saying that, President Muhammadu Buhari had contested election 3 times before fortune smiled on him, and he became the president after, contesting for the 4th time. But all of the 3 times he contested, as long as the swing states in the middle belt did not give him vote, he could not become president. But 2015, you notice that Benue went to the opposition APC, Plateau went to APC, Nasarawa went APC, even Kwara went APC. These are the middle belt states alongside, Kogi and others. Kogi also went APC. Mm-hmm. And the moment these swing states could go into the opposition APC, they could turn over their votes to give Buhari the difference that made him to emerge winner. But as you can see, the antecedent so far, vis-a-vis querying his 3-point agenda of fighting corruption, fighting insecurity, and growing or recovering or reviving the economy. These are his 3-point agenda. By the time we query it, you discover that a man's second term is actually based on a testimonial of his first term. So having queried it, the Middle Belt states have decided now to venture back into the opposition, which is PDP. I can say unequivocally that Plateau State is going back to PDP. Benue State has gone back to PDP.
Absolutely.
Kogi, and then Kwara, and as we are withdrawing the support, that made him become president, we are actually removing the armor from the ruling party and making them exposed as far as this forthcoming battle is concerned. So I'm confident that all of these antecedents is translating to a homeward victory, for Governor Samuel Otom.
You got that right, Dave. I was going to say that, in our case here as Benue people, no one has ever won Nigeria without winning Benue State.
Very true.
That's
Very
interesting.
True. Very true.
Because since 1979, no president of this country has been elected without winning Benue State. And so Benue is at the center of the politics of the Middle Belt. And that's why wherever Benue people are headed, Nigeria is headed. And now that Benue people are saying, look, we have had enough of the impunity. We have had enough of the insensitivity. We have had enough of everything negative that the APC administration has brought upon this country, and especially this region. Then you begin to feel the impulse. You begin to feel the pulse of the Middle Beltans. You begin to feel that this is where the people of this region, talking about all the states of this region, are headed. And remember that President Buhari lost Nasarawa State in 2015. He lost Plateau State, he won Benue, and won Nigeria. And now, he is not sure of votes in Benue. Because the people have said, look, when we needed you, when we needed someone to tap us on the back and say, look, we are sorry, this is what has happened, we sympathize with you, this will not happen again, no one came up to say that.
Rather, the lives of Benue people were politicized.
So the later day attention that was given to security issues in the state, I am saying what I have heard Benue people say. I'm saying what I have listened to the people. We have gone around to 23 local government areas campaigning for Atiku and Otom. And these are the things that people have said. Now look, when they needed someone from Abuja to stand up and say, look, what is happening in Benue is wrong, no one did. The people were left with their governor, who was doing everything he could to stop the killings, but it didn't happen. So whatever attention that is given now is as a result of the cries, as a result of the frequent calls, the frequent efforts of the governor of Benue State that we are seeing, the security efforts that are being made now.
Thank you very much, my CPS. Okay, when we come back home to, objective analysis of why we should re-elect Governor Samuel Otom, I'd like to make this factual analysis. Number one, among the choices of people running for the governorship of Benue State, we have the antecedents of all of them. We have the antecedents of all of their puppeteers and their masters also. I want to unequivocally state that none of them has approached leadership with the degree of sincerity and transparency that Governor Samuel Otom has approached leadership with. And I want to buttress by saying, upon the inception of his administration, he came to power at a very, very precarious and critical season of Benue's life, where Benue was bedeviled by economic issues, security issues. So he did not just hit the ground running. You measure the success of people based on, number one, the monuments they were able to build, but there are others that They didn't have a level playing field or a level ground to start building. They had to crawl out of a hole. Someone challenges first before they began to build. I think the second part is what typifies or exemplifies the leadership, season of Governor Samuel Otom. He came into, leadership at such very, very critical season. But you saw him swing into action immediately to bring sincerity to bear as far as, his passion to checkmate evil is concerned. When one of his cabinet members was indicted, in the murder of somebody within the state, instead of shielding him like others have shielded their cabinet members, shielded governors who have been recorded on tape, with bribery, you can see evidences. Instead of shielding them or beatifying them or making them saints, in the interest of transparency, he said, I will not want to dabble into that. Whosoever is found guilty, let him face the wrath of the law. I think he has demonstrated his respect for the rule of law and for transparency, rather than going here and shielding members of his cabinet. That is the mark of a true leader. And then number two, going on the streets of Benue State, and then I've had cause to interview people. Who are you voting? They say, we're voting Governor Samuel Otom, we're voting this person, we're voting this person. I said, okay. I asked the others who are indicated they are not voting Governor Samuel Otom because they actually have a right to their political opinions or direction. A lot of them will say, we are not voting him because he has not paid salaries. But do you know that this salary issue is actually...
I was going to come to that.
Yeah.
I was going to say that.
You see, comment on that.
You see, the issue of salaries has become... The opposition are using that to confuse Benue people.
And play on
the truth is that Benue is paying the third highest salaries in Nigeria. And in northern Nigeria, Benue is paying the highest. What I mean by that is that what an average civil servant receives in Benue is the highest in northern Nigeria. Now, in the whole country, Benue is paying the third highest. So when you have this kind of scenario and the wage bill of Benue is very small, I mean, the wage bill of Benue is very high, the revenue is very small, and the wage bill is very high, then you can't cope. How would you do that?
Yeah.
You are receiving an average of 3.5 billion from Abuja as revenue allocation, while you have a wage bill of 4.2 billion. How only at the state level? How do you cope? So this is why Governor Samuel Otom, on inception, when he assumed duty as the governor of Benue State, called civil servants, called labor unions, and told them this is the situation. The resources that we have cannot, as at that time that we had a recession in the country, that even the federal government was looking for money here and there to pay salaries.
Yeah,
Benue could not afford to pay salaries every month. And the governor suggested, he asked the workers, the labor unions, what do we do? They were the people who suggested that since the money coming from Abuja and the internal revenue of the state cannot pay salaries every month, let's use 2 months to pay 1 month. Because at a particular month, in 1 month, Benue received 1.3 billion from Abuja.
As federal allocation.
With the revenue, with the wage bill of 4.2 billion. So if you have 1.3 billion as revenue from Abuja, and you have an average of 250 million as internal revenue, how many ministries can you pay? So this was the problem. And the labor unions themselves have confirmed that truly the government of Samuel Otom has been transparent.
I'm sure that's the reason.
This is why the shortfall.
Yeah.
Because if you put 2 months for 1 month, 2 months for 1 month, at the end you have 6 months in 1 year. This is why salaries were not paid for almost. We had a backlog of about 6 months at the state level, because the government was using 2 months to pay for 1 month as the workers recommended. And so it kept to the terms of that agreement, And that's why we didn't have the shutdown of the industry of the economy, no strikes, because the civil servants were brought to the same table with government, and they saw reason.
That's transparency.
To understand that, look, this is what is going on in Benue. And even when the NLC national president came to Benue, he brought his experts, and they went into meetings with the government. The government brought his books on the table, and the NLC looked into the books, and at the end of the meeting, the NLC national president was saying, honestly, the issue of Benue is a problem. It is not the fault of the Samuel Otom administration. It's truly a fundamental problem that workers of this state need to understand. And that was why the workers now said, okay, fine. Government now decided, look, for us to come out of this problem, we will declare emergency on salaries. And what that means is that whatever it is, salaries will become the priority. That even if it means putting projects on hold, this government will do to make sure that salaries are paid as and when due. And true to his words, the governor of Benue State, throughout year 2018, paid salaries from January to December. And he has already paid January of 2019. So that's the kind of governor we have. Very transparent, very honest, and he does things according to the wills of the people.
You know, it's important again to understand that if we, loving people of Benue State, we vote or re-elect Governor Samuel Otom at the state level, it's important to give him a president that will be in tandem with him as far as the affairs of governance is concerned. Because if you have another person at the center, you know, and you have Governor Samuel Otom here, he will still be the persecuted lamb that he has always been at the hands of, you know, the federal authority or the APC government. That's why it is important for us to move out en masse and vote, you know, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar as the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But besides the all-important issue of having a government at the center that agrees with the government in Benue State, it's important to look at Atiku's antecedents also and to see why he qualifies to be the president of Nigeria at this very, very critical time. I'm sure nobody within the rankings of those contesting possesses the leadership qualities that he has demonstrated so far. You know, you cannot ask a man to bake 1,000 cake if he has not successfully baked one. You know, someone like Atiku has baked 1,000 cakes successfully. So we're asking him to just bake one for the next 4 years. If you see his giant strides in various sectors that Nigeria is in distress now, you will know that he possesses the characteristic, the criteria, the competence, and the character, you know, to become the president of Nigeria in this new dispensation. Look at his antecedents in the educational sector. As a mark of his respect for an enlightened tomorrow, an exposed generation of tomorrow, his mark of youth empowerment, human capital development, he single-handedly has established a university. And that's a demonstration of his love to have the younger generation educated and become better than the previous generation. In the health sector, you see that he has established a hospital where people are receiving, you know, treatments. That's one thing he is going to be democratizing as far as the health institution of Nigeria is concerned. In entrepreneurship development and human empowerment, you see, establishing the microfinance that has given, you know, leverage to 45,000 people in Adamawa State, mostly women. You know, it's something that is huge. If he has been able to do that in Adamawa State, by the time he becomes president, he will just take that variable and generalize or democratize across Nigeria. And think of what will happen in the 36 states of Nigeria if there is these empowerment structures that can be able to help women, you know, to show that, to lighten their burden as they shoulder the responsibility of taking on the home front, you know. So there are other qualities too of President Atiku that, you know, I'd like for you to...
What I can only say, Comrade Dave, is that Benue people, Atiku is coming. Atiku is coming. And you don't want to be left out of this train. It is a Nigerian train. It is a moving train. It has left Adamawa. It is cutting across the Middle Belt. It is going to cut across all the states of Northeast and Northwest and North Central and southeast, southwest, and south-south. Nigeria is moving. PDP is coming back to power. Atiku is the standard bearer. Benue people, don't be left out. Atiku has promised you that when he comes to become president, he will enforce your law. He will uphold the open grazing prohibition and ranches establishment law. This is our own law. This man has promised to uphold it, to ask security agencies to respect this law. This is all that we have been asking for. And here is a man who has said, I will do it. You don't want to miss out, Benue people. Take this opportunity, vote Atiku Abubakar, let him be our president. That is where Nigeria will be tomorrow after this 23rd of February. Please, I tell you, don't miss this opportunity. We are already on track. We will win. PDP will win. PDP!
Change the change. That is good.